All right. Peace, y'all. What's up, Fantasy Football Astrology World, Fantasy Football Astrology channel? Got something new for you guys. I've been playing with my whiteboard. I'm starting to realize I probably need a PowerPoint presentation here, but it was fun creating this. I wanted to kind of spit out for each NFL team. I wanted to spit out an astrology report and some of the moves that I think they should be making in the draft, considering the astrology for each player. Really, what I'm centered in here in the pattern that I've identified in the astrology scene is really the quarterback to wide receiver and the head coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, their relationship to their players. I've identified those as really the main components that are effective in astrology. And so when we're analyzing this, it's something to consider. I'm starting off with the Detroit Lions. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, first and foremost. I've been watching football ever since I can remember TV, and I've always been watching Detroit. So drinking that Kool-Aid, it's a fun off-season for Detroit Lions fans. And so I'm going to try to explain this board to everybody really quick about what's going on here, right? And so you've got the Detroit Lions Astro report, right? And so looking up at the top, we're looking at Sheila Ford Hamp, right? And we don't know her birthday, we don't know her astrology. So moving on, all right, you have Brad Holmes right here as a Leo. That's an awesome position. You want a fire sign as somebody who's evaluating talent, because fire signs illuminate and they can see things. And they're also Leo's the leader. So Brad Holmes as a Leo is a really good position. It's really excellent that we got Motor City Dan Campbell as an Aries, okay? Aries is a phenomenal position for a coach to be. They have a warlike, strategical thinking mentality. They're ruled by Mars. Bill Belichick's an Aries, okay? Sean McDermott's an Aries. His coordinator, Brian DeBall's an Aries. And so we can see some parallels when we're looking at these guys and what we might be able to expect from them. So further moving on, you've got Anthony Lynn right here. He's right on the cusp of a Sagittarius Capricorn. Capricorns, we'll just call him a Capricorn to keep things simple. Capricorns are really good leaders as well. Darrell Bevel last year is a Capricorn. Robert E. Lee, the general of the Confederate Army, he was a Capricorn, right? And so I think of them as they're kind of like flawed field generals, is kind of how I look at Capricorns. And so we got Aaron Glenn right here. He is a Cancerian, also known as a Cancer, a water sign. And so that's an interesting position. As we can see right here, he pairs up really nicely with one of the top prospects. Remember, Aaron Glenn is a defensive backs coach. Caleb Farley is the top defensive back coming out this year. He's a Scorpio, right? And it's amazing to see the high competitiveness that Caleb Farley is. And Scorpio is really one of probably the most competitive style sign right there with Scorpio and Sagittarius. They have a really high competitiveness, and it really shows up on tape, shows up in his speed. I mean, I would think if you want to get Caleb Farley coached up, you put him in the hip pocket of another water sign, okay, and Aaron Glenn, also a defensive back, and you've got a match made in heaven here. And so I thought that combination was something to pay attention to. I've been, championing, is that a word, for Caleb Farley for a while now, because I've seen Miami, New Orleans, and Cleveland all turn around their defenses in a really quick manner. Once you get the defensive backs going, right, and you want to have elite speed, and he's got height. You got height and speed on the perimeter. We know this new coaching staff is really valuing speed. And so speaking of that, we got right down here, we got Jalen Waddle as a Sagittarius. He's actually has probably the best astrology with Jared Goff, right? So we're going up to Jared Goff. He's a Libra. That's an air. And this is Sagittarius, is a fire sign. So out of all the big three, we'll call them, we got Jamar Chase as a Pisces. We've got Devontae Smith as a Scorpio, and Jalen Waddle as a Sagittarius. These Scorpio and Sagittarius grade out really evenly for a Libra. Okay, but once again, I see this coaching staff, they value speed, so don't be surprised if that pick at 7 is Jalen Waddle. It's not what I would do. I would do Caleb Farley, but just reading the tea leaves here and seeing what everybody else thinks, I feel like I'm one of the only people in the ballpark that want Caleb Farley, so whatever that's worth. I see Rashawn Slater is a really good. He's got an Aries. I don't really understand the offensive lineman's importance to astrology as much. I really focus on the fantasy football component of it. But you got Rashawn Slater as an Aries. That's a polar opposite with Jared Goff. So really good match there. We saw Jared Goff get along really well with an Aries and Robert Woods. Okay, so that's already shown to be, polar opposites. We've seen this in other combinations: Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. These polar opposites are excellent combinations. Tom Brady and Randy Moss were polar opposites. So it's a really good thing, right? Polar opposites attract like magnets. And so will Rashawn Slater be he'll probably be available. Both of these players, Rashawn Slater and Caleb Farley, probably be available. I suspect Jamar Chase, it's kind of a toss-up, right? We don't really know, but gosh, I mean, Jamar Chase, even though he's a Pisces, as a B-. Remember, Brandon Cooks was a Pisces as well. And Brandon Cook. And so another speedster, but, if we're really being honest about Jamar Chase, he is such a nice blanket. He does have really good speed, but he's just got a really, I don't know how to describe his type of body. He's just so solid and he's just so steady. Tyreek Hill is also a Pisces. I feel like Jamar Chase is like a bigger version of like a Tyreek Hill. So really easy to throw to. He's not a kneecap biter, right? He's not a guy who's like I think that fits the prototype of what the coaching staff is looking for. But Pisces, they're not knee biters, right? They're really chill. That's not what they're out to do, but they can outskill you, okay? So that's what we're looking at there. So moving on here, this is going to be good for fantasy football. Tyrell Williams is an Aquarius, right? This is the same combination that Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss were. It was a Libra to an Aquarius, right? They're both air signs. That's an A+. That's like the best type of astrology combination that I like to see when I'm looking at astrology. So there it is. I expect Tyrell Williams to be sneakily good. Obviously, if they draft a guy like Jamar Chase, we're just going to have to wait and see one of these things until the draft. But looking at Brashard Perriman, gosh, man, I'm so excited for this player as a Lions fan. As an astrologer, I'm not very excited. Once again, we see him paired up with an air sign, and when he's paired up with an air sign, historically speaking, I think Flacco was I'd have to look, but I think they struggled in their connection. Brashard Perriman started getting off when he was paired with a Capricorn, okay? When Brashard Perriman was paired with Jameis Winston, he started going off, right, towards the end of the year. And so when he's paired with Darnold, it was more of a volatile connection. And Darnold is an air sign. Darnold is a Gemini. So these are the type of things I see happen with astrology again and again. It's just a very interesting environment. So moving on from Brashard Perriman, you got Quintez Cephas as an Aries. Okay, this is another sneaky good match right here. He had a really, like I said before, with Robert Woods as an Aries, had a really good chemistry, right? He's going to have a really good chemistry with Aquariuses, Aries, and also he's going to have good chemistry with Geminis, okay? Cooper Kupp was a Gemini. They worked out really good, okay? So if you were Brad Holmes and you actually believed in astrology and you've seen the effectiveness of it like I have, then you would be looking at like, okay, maybe we'll just chill out on these receivers, these excellent receivers at the top of the draft, and you still have really excellent receivers that are going to be sitting there at the top of round 2. You might even have a Rondale Moore, a Kadarius Toney as an Aquarius, and really who I think pairs really well with a guy like Jared Goff, right? He's got the height. He's not only has the speed, but he has the height, and he's really young still. And Terrace Marshall Jr., he's a Gemini, and so that's going to be a really good match. You could probably get him at almost for sure get him at the top of round 2, and so that's what we're looking at there. A couple of and obviously Kadarius Toney, another very exciting pick as an Aquarius. We've already seen with Josh Reynolds and Jared Goff. He's familiar with that connection. Hopefully Sean McVay didn't sour that connection because he's also an Aquarius. But speaking of the coach connection here, Jared Goff and Motor City, Dan Campbell, MCDC, they are polar opposites, Libra, Aries. That's great, guys. Excellent. Y'all should be able to really be on the same page. You're going to be polar opposites, right? You're always going to be in the same conversation, but you're going to be in the opposite ends of the conversation, which, if you know how to see that's the energy that's going on, you know how to appreciate that that natural quality to all that. So really interesting there. While we're talking about that, I just wanted to bring this up. This is too cool, right? Zach Wilson has the exact same birthday as Tom Brady. They're both August 3rd, okay? You want a Leo as a quarterback. Furthermore, you want a Leo who is getting shined on by an Aries, right? They fuel each other, and there was many stories came out of New England that Bill Belichick knew how to fuel Tom Brady, okay? So you want a Leo as a quarterback. Dak Prescott, they have this quality. They don't know what it is. It's an intangible. They know how to lead a team. They know how to lift others up around them. That's a natural, innate ability of Leos. Okay, so if I was Detroit, I would be looking to sell the farm, try to talk to the Jets, say, hey, man, what do you guys want for that number 2 slot? And get up there and get Zach Wilson. And, so that's something to consider there. Other things I think, let's see if I mentioned it all. Kyle Pitts as a Libra, that's a pretty decent match there. As an A-, I'm not a huge guy to stacking tight ends on a team, but, to each their own. Everyone's got a different idea there. There's a lot of, in the Detroit world, there's a lot of disagreements. I'm not seeing any real consensus. Last year, by the end of the draft, we were all kind of saying, okay, Kuda, sure, we don't want to miss out on this generational talent that they say Akuda is. And so I was skeptical just because of the speed. I want top-end speed on my perimeters. And so that's who I'm looking at. They say he ran a 4.28 in his pro day. Not to mention, man, he's 6'2". He can jam at the line. We need guys who can really jam at the line. Akuda looked a bit undersized to me. Great tackler, great effort there. But and we'll see how it turns around in this defensive scheme, if at all. So those are just a few things, guys. If anybody's watching the channel and you got a team you want me to do next, tell me what team you want me to do next. Trying to get a bunch of teams done before the draft, and then after the draft, I'm going to do a complete analysis on the whole league. But my time's limited, so I only have so much time. I've got a lot of different other irons in the fire, if you will, and so this is one of my little side hobbies. I want to do my team first. If y'all know Brad Holmes or MCDC or anybody in the Detroit brass, send them this, man. I'll be like, whoa, check out this. I don't know, this is a different take. Especially if you're a Caleb Farley fan, man. I'd love to see that defense really turn it around. I think we could do it pretty quickly with the right guys. So just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Let's see, we're going down. We're looking at Geronimo Allison as a Capricorn. Not that great, not that great. Okay, that finishes it up, guys. All right, cheers.